first. Hello and welcome to today's awesome assembly. We are going to think about being a tough tortoise in our assembly today. What's that, Mr. Badger? He wants us to talk about being a brave badger. Mr. Badger, we'll talk about you on Friday, not today. Today we're going to talk about being a tough tortoise, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about being team ant, and then no, not you. Then the next day we're going to talk about being sensible squirrel, and the following day we're going to talk about being wise owl, and the day after that we'll talk about being a badger. Is that good? Yeah? Good. So children, we're going to think about all of our 4 learning characters that helps us to think and to learn and do loads of amazing things. But first of all, let's think about being a tough tortoise. Look at these lovely tortoises that children in my school have made. Or are they turtles? Or are they tortoises? What's the difference? I'm not sure.
Well, good morning, boys and girls. And I expect you wonder why I'm talking to you this morning from my bathroom. Well, 3 of the household members have woken up. And they are the tough tortoises. They have been asleep for 5 months, and that's called hibernation. And when they come out of hibernation, there's nothing they like better than a nice warm bath. Now, they don't have bubble bath, and they don't use soap. They just have nice tepid water, and what they do is they absorb the water through their shells, and it helps them to hydrate after their long sleep. And so they're just having their little daily bath at the moment. This is Gigi, she's 96. This is Darcy, he's 58. And this is young Todd, and he's 46. So we're going to take them in the garden in a moment. See you out there.
I have got a special bag, and in this bag I've just got a tough tortoise on the outside. There's some things inside, so let's have a look, and it might help us to think about what a tough tortoise is. Oh, what's this one? A magnifying glass. That's right, to be a tough tortoise, think about a magnifying glass. Can you see me? So I'm in a sheltered spot with my magnifying glass. I'm just going to try and focus. Oh, the wind's blowing it there. It's smoking. Will it catch fire? Yeah, just blowing it a bit. It's now caught fire. Fantastic, look at that. That's well alight now. So to start a fire with a magnifying glass, you've got to really focus it. And it's like being a tough tortoise with your work. You've got to really focus on it and think about what you are doing in order to succeed. So remember, a magnifying glass can help us to look for things that are slightly different, maybe patterns or details. That reminds me of something.
Okay, so here they all are after their bath in the garden. Now, we put some food down for them, but they may not start eating properly for about another month because they have to really, really warm up before they start to eat properly. And then during the summer months, they actually have to eat about 3 times their body weight to actually see them through hibernation. And this is the bear of the house. All right, boys and girls, I'm glad that I could share my lovely tortoises with you, and hope you're all nice, safe and sound and doing your work.
Let's see what else we've got in my bag. This one. Oh, I've got a sponge here. What's this say? Now, a sponge is really useful if you spill something and you need to mop it up. It soaks up lots of water. If I spill a little bit of water and I've got a sponge like this, it's amazing how much liquid a sponge can just absorb. And a sponge symbolises being able to lose yourself in learning, becoming absorbed in what you're doing, gripped and attentive. That reminds me of something when I was young. Now I've got here my school bag. It is my actual school bag from when I was a child. It's a little rucksack here. Can you imagine me wearing that? I'm too big to wear it now. Let's see if I've got anything in here. Oh, a Rubik's Cube. And what you've got to try and do is to get all of the colours in one place, on one side.
Let's see if I can get the red sorted out, shall we? Oh, there's one there. A bit rusty.
Got to really concentrate.
How those reds, got quite a few reds on that side. Let's get another one down there, shall we? Oh, I'm sure you can find on YouTube people who are really, really quick at doing this.
To really concentrate now. Nothing be distracted. Yeah, I've done a side. Whew. Still got lots of other colours to sort out and to move around, but this Rubik's Cube, you have to really concentrate and be really absorbed, just like being a tough tortoise, to get something like this done. I wonder what else is in my tough tortoise bag. Let's have a look. Oh, what's this? It's a face mask. It's an eye mask. I can't see anything at all. What does it say on the label? Managing distractions. Oh, there must be lots of distractions going on at the moment. Watching TV, going on YouTube. Oh no, that's good. If it's an autumn assembly, that's not a distraction. That's fantastic. Playing games, arguing with my brother. Oh, lots of things like that. We need to know ourselves as learners and create our best environment for learning. It's got to really focus and not have distractions. That reminds me of something in here. Let's have a look. Ah, yes, I've got my mini Munchman. Can you see? There's the little Munchman down here. And what you have to go around the maze eating all the fruit, but don't bump into the ghosts that are in the middle there. Shall we have a go? Oh, ghosts are flashing. Means I can eat them. Over the bridge. Eat the star, make some flash. Chase the ghosts. Yeah, I did the first round. Oh no! I got eaten by a ghost. I got eaten again. I got 151 points. Well, it's not very good, is it? I wasn't focused. I wasn't really concentrating like a tough tortoise would be.
Levi, what makes you a tough tortoise?
Faith in your fears.
Well done. That's a great idea, to be a tough tortoise. Oh, what else have I got in my tough tortoise bag? Should we have a look? I've got a glue stick. What's a glue stick got with being a tough tortoise, hey? What do you think, tough tortoise? Ah, it says glue stick reminds us about perseverance. A glue stick reminds us to keep going when things are difficult. That reminds me of a song that I used to sing when I was at school. It said, when the road is rough and steep, fix your eyes upon Jesus. He alone has power to keep. That's right. If things are difficult, we need to persevere. We need to stick at it. And if we feel like we're on a really difficult journey, we can fix our eyes upon Jesus. Sometimes we need to accept that learning can be slow and uncertain and difficult. We've got to really stick at it. Look at that wonderful tough tortoise or turtle. All those beautiful buttons. It must have been a real tough tortoise to sew all of those buttons on. It's incredible. Now I'll tell you who I think was a real tough tortoise, and that's the Apostle Paul. And in one of his letters he wrote to the Corinthians, he said he'd been in prison, he'd had beatings, he'd been near death, he had lashes with a whip, beaten with rods, stoned. He'd been in shipwrecks, he'd been in the sea night and day. He'd been in danger from rivers and thieves and other people. He had tiring work, he didn't sleep. He was hungry, he was thirsty, he was cold and without clothes. He was a real tough tortoise, wasn't he, Tough Tortoise? Yeah, he was. He was a real tough tortoise. But he was tough because he knew what he was doing. He was following God's plan, and he was taking the good news about Jesus to lots of people around the Mediterranean, and that was what he was passionate about. So let's end with a prayer asking God to help us to be tough tortoises.
Dear God, please help us to be a tough tortoise when we find things difficult. Amen.
Dear Lord, thank you that you are the light of the world, that you show us the way when things are tough or difficult. Help us to be a tough tortoise, like the Apostle Paul, to persevere, to stick at it, to soak up things that you want us to learn. Help us not to be distracted in our learning, in our lives, and in our playtimes. Help us to honour you. Help us to trust you. Help us to be a tough tortoise. Amen. Mr. Badger, you're not meant to be showing them that picture until later in the week. He's quite handsome though, isn't he? But he's all covered in straw. Why?